Hello everyone. It is, of course, Tuesday, and that means Tier 3 is back in full force for some racing action. My name is Trifium, and we're about to go for a good journey here around the Netherlands. And joining me for the Tier 3 action, Alejandro Bitto. Welcome back. How are you?
Hello, Struve. I'm really happy because it's been a long time since I committed to Tier 3, and I'm really expecting to have a good race as coming back again here on the booth, and well, of course, 20 drivers for today's race.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun campaign here. 14 turns, of course, around the Netherlands, Zandvoort, an iconic circuit in Formula One history, and that final banking has already presented some unique scenarios, I'll say, for some of the racers that have taken part. We've already seen Tier 4 and the Americas Tier 2 divisions take part in the 36-lap campaign that is the Netherlands today. And now, of course, next week we head on over to Russia. Following that, we have Spa in Belgium, of course, Italy after that, Japan, Britain, Azerbaijan, Hungary, Singapore. We also have France, Spain, Austria, Mexico, and Brazil on the menu this season. With that, we'll take a look at the standings coming through into round 2 here for this Tier 3 division. We have Crampy leading things over at Williams with 25 points, with Artek second position in the Red Bull, 18 points to his name, and it is the other Williams of Wavy in third position. Williams off to a 40-point lead, a 40-point scoring first round, we'll say, in Red Bull there behind an 8 with, second position, 18 points. But with that, we are just about ready to go racing here for a great campaign in the Netherlands, and I cannot wait for that.
Oh, me neither, Struve. It's gonna be really interesting because, of course, the same track that we had last season, of course. But I think it has changed a little bit with the physics of the new car. Just really managed to keep it clean, always serves. You said the bunker corner as well on the last corner. It's really difficult to manage. Seeing a lot of incidents these last days, and well, I think probably we can see a couple because, and well, and we haven't talked about rain. It's Netherlands. It's not like Spain. We have rain here.
Well, I'll say one thing. We have had the weather dynamic already come through this week. It came through for the Americas Tier 2 division yesterday. Not only did it come through in the race, but it came through in the qualifying as well. They had a qualifying session, 18 minutes, that went from wet to dry conditions, and then the race itself, it went from wet to dry conditions. I'll see if these Tier 3 racers get that roll of the dice today as we come into their second round of the season. Of course, the weather can present such challenges for racers. Yesterday's race in the Tier 2 division with the YouTube, hopefully within the next day or so, as we were dealing with some processing issues on that end on the YouTube side, so we'll get that when we can. Highlights as well being the same story, so a bit of a delay on that production side, but of course we have our streams here to keep us entertained, and it'll be 20 drivers here. Alex, why don't you take us through our Tier 3 racing lineup?
Of course, we have Wavy. We have Max O'Connor on the Aston Martin, where we have Hanos there on the McLaren Artex. I think he finished second with with Crampy. Carbon Racer. I think he's doing his debut here. I think he missed Bahrain. Manuel was replacing him as reserve. Daniel Mona from Aston Martin. He said to me that he had with his arm hurting a little bit there. After he will try his best surely on that Aston Martin. Lobel, well, he was full time on Alfa Romeo last year, and right he's doing as a reserve driver the comeback. Let's say Dan, who drove on Aston Martin. Oh, already issues.
Yeah, one of the Haas drivers here, Dark, just took a big spill on the rear of his teammate Dan. Pretty very unfortunate. So that will be a little bit of time before we see one Haas get a lap through.
Surely it will. Surely it will cause some time and probably more issues than expected there to the Haas drivers. Let's hope it's nothing major. Still 20 drivers there, as Dan will be the first driver to start a lap, but still have Crampy there, who won on Bahrain. On the McLaren, Jose Manuel, again racing John, back row driver, Dark, Maca, Wisp, Epic, Zasco, and Relax as we jump on board with Dan.
Dan through turn 1 now, and we saw some drivers getting quite loose as they touched tight side, and of course that's not where you really want to find yourself He's taken some good lines, decent lines through this first sector into now sector 2. This is where things can get really tricky. As on this hill, we saw drivers lose it. Everyone wants to push, and now he's utilizing 5th gear as well.
Ooh, Tom having issues. I think he had a spin just up ending sector 1. There it goes. He didn't have any time set for this qualifying. He's already out.
Very, very there, SEMA. Not going to be having a good jolt of confidence from Shoe.
Then corner opening DRS. Really low on battery, of course. You have to pull everything there on that lap. It's a 109.7 as the first lap today. Offs.
Yesterday's
Oh no.
pole position yesterday in Tier 4 reference Polly Punk. He set a 109.183. That was on the pound.
Maybe with the mediums, Danny Molov as well, and Crampy on the same compound into the 10s as Artex, the pole sitter of last week, does a 9.2 on his bunker lap. Surely we'll see him improving that time, but still a very good one to start with. Epic on the Ferrari, 9.3 for him. Relax his teammate, 14.5. I don't think that's the best he can do, surely, as Carbon Racer sets with the medium at 10.3.
Some good times coming through here. Artex Epic quite tight at the top end. Not much separating the two, just over 100th of a second. Or 10th, excuse me, of a second. And we have Epic and Artex, the shootout at the front with the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Different tire strategies being utilized in this qualifying session. A number of drivers setting their times on the medium early on. SEMA, of course, as we mentioned earlier, he will not be getting a lap through Dark. Looks like he's on another run after he had an issue on his out lap originally.
Global setting a lap 10.5 behind 3 drivers on the mediums. Still a lot of time to improve there, of course. As we have a yellow flag, I think that's not the name of his teammates, Max O'Connor. No, sorry, it's an AlphaTauri of Jasco on last place right now, and I think he had some issues. Ooh.
Every braking board coming through that right-hander is no longer intact. Surely that's not going to be good for a few of the drivers in the campaign today. Dark has aborted. I wonder if we had just missed something on board with him. He's got no visible damage. He could be gearing up to go again.
Yeah, but let's hope he doesn't have any damage, not only not visible, but on the car itself, of course. We'll try to jump. Oh, Epic improves his lap on his second round in a row. And the Ferrari, well, right now on provisional pole position, 9.175. It's not even a 10th between him and Artex, who's right now in the pits.
I was just on with Wisp, excuse me, and he has crashed his car heading out of turn 11. There is now 2 drivers retired in this session. Relax is coming through the final sector now. Looks like he's on an in-lap here. He's actually out of fuel.
Yeah, yellow flags there on sector 3. I think back row is improving right now with those mediums, doing his second run a little bit wide, and that's invalidate for him. He knows it. He, well, yields. He's just avoided his lap, and now going into the pits. Someone is going there, I think, is Epic onto the pits as well, as his teammate is limping back with no fuel. Right now it's Epic on first place, Artex on second place, Max O'Connor 4 tenths behind the first row is in third place, and Relax close to his teammate.
Jose Manuel now, he's gearing up in the Red Bull for a run. He's on the medium compound tires. He has done a few laps on these tires in the session. Saw him slow down and kind of get himself set before a run into turn 1 here for the Red Bull. Yasko, jump on with him quickly as he is out of fuel. I thought he might have been on a flyer, but just not enough fuel to get around again, so he's on his way in. 2 drivers on outlaps. Daniel Monoff is on a flyer not too far behind Jose Manuel.
Jose Manuel as reserve was last week. He did a very good job. I think he had some issues at the beginning of the race, but then he did the comeback and then finished on P6 if my memory serves correct, right now Artex will be starting a lap to try to improve that time from Epic. It's not even a tenth what he needs there to put himself into that pole position until they back-to-back of racing.
And
Seems like
well,
he's nailing.
looking for the split here. He's up a very good amount of time here. He's doing well on this lap. Nearly half a second found, Alex, as he comes through the final sector now.
On those mediums, that's important. I don't know if this driver really wants to do the reverse strategy, but right now Jose Manuel improving. It will be 5/10 improvement, and that's up into P6, and I think that's the first of the medium runners to be there. It's a very good lap time.
And Omana flying into the pit lane, not going to be setting a time. Dan has begun in the Haas. Who else is flying? Artex is on the move, and he's coming through into the penultimate turn in the Red Bull.
He's improving. So it's almost. I think this can be a under nines. We'll see if it's the first time that we see today. It's not. Ooh, it's almost. It's James Bond. It's an 007 as Cramp improves on the softs. Now changing his compound up into P3. He still has time a little bit there on the bucket. Surely he has. Now as Mac, I think, was improving up into P5. Was there, I think, someone as well was improving or starting a lap? I think it was Wavy.
Yeah, Wavy starting a lap there. Hanoz as well, and the other McLaren. He has now begun. We have another Mercedes making their way to the line. It's actually going to be Carbon Racer. Where's he going to land himself? It's fourth position.
Wavy had a spin out of turn 3.
Oh, wow.
He has a lot of damage on that front end right now. Wavy, he was really pushing on those softs, and I really don't know if he expected more grip at the exit of that corner as he leaves Hano's a green flag track.
Oh, Hano's really dancing on the edge. I think any further to the left coming down that hill, and Hano's was going to go into the wall. I think that car was just dancing on the line.
He's really pushing. Surely he is right now in P14 ahead of his teammate that they will not set a lap. We have still 6 drivers that are not setting lap times. 2 of them will definitely won't set any lap time with that terminal damage. It's Sema and Wisp will be starting on the back row shortly as Hanos opens DRS, goes really inside there on the last corner on the main straight, and he's up into P10, 10.1. I think it's the first time for him.
Nice run there. He'll be happy with that, of course. John has now begun a lap, looking to see who else we can have on a flyer. Wavy's coming back in, of course, to get that wing fixed up. There's an Alpine en route to the line, and that's back row. Nope, not back row, excuse me.
Not an issue, I think. Starting on sector 2, actually, one corner before, after, well, sorry, just on sector 2. Dan is having some issues there. I think the rears are over. And has driver who right now is on P8. I don't think he's happy with that. As Hanos goes really wide there, and he is, well, he's on the gravel trap.
A lot of drivers we've seen in this qualifying session, and we saw it yesterday in both of the races that occurred for the Tier 4 and the Americas Tier 2 division. A lot of drivers struggling, not only in the qualifying, but this race has potential to present some yellows, especially through Sector 2. And potentially coming out of turn 1. And I think I'll say this is the most notable corner, Alex. That turn 14 bank is going to be presenting some challenges in this race as well.
Jasko having some issues. I don't know if he has some input issues with that wheel.
Epic.
But right now he's struggling as Epic went into pole position.
Yeah, Epic, a nice time there. 108.976 for the Scuderia, bringing himself into pole ahead of Artex. Artex ran that 109.007, and he'll be looking to improve with Crampy and Carbon Racer as well. Max O'Connor right now in the Aston Martin. He is not looking like he's on any kind of improvement, as he is, I think, on an in-lap after that 109.532. He's got Artex in front of him. If not, he's gearing up again, but he's got that low fuel light on. I don't think it's likely. Unless he had an impediment of some kind earlier on. Relax is spun coming into this banking turn.
Really difficult. I think he went wide on the second to last corner, and then he probably too much curb, probably even touching the gravel there, just unsettles the car completely, and you can see there as we had yellow flags on sector 3 with Relax. Another yellow flag, but I think that was someone just letting a driver on a faster lap go. Jose Manuel right now, I think he had some kind of issue at the beginning of second DRS straight, and I think he's trapped there. Another yellow flag behind, I think that's Daniel Monov. Or yeah, Daniel Monov as well went into a gravel on the same part. I think they are touching that curve, and that's very, very difficult to a section that it's really difficult to manage, and they're having well, a lot of problems there touching that curve and going into the gravel.
Artex right now in the Red Bull. He's charging through 13 here. He's coming into this iconic banking, and it's the Red Bulls right now looking for a pole position. Can he beat out the prancing horses to the line? Yes, he does. It's a 108.951 out of the Honda Red Bull. Very nice.
That's an amazing time. That's an amazing time, and it's very, very tight between him and Epic. And I have a feeling that this race will be very, very tight. It's very difficult to overtake here as Maka goes into P4, 9.3 for the Mercedes driver, yellow flags, and I think that's Jasco having an issue on last corner. It's not the first driver that we have seen there having any kind of issue, as I think that's going through. That's Wavy, who's going to improve on his lap time, but Lovell on the middle of the track, no fuel for him, almost having contact, but he will improve on his P6.
Yeah, good run there. A 109.444 for the Williams. Carbon Racer. 109.478 for him in that Mercedes. Things tightening up at the top end of this grid quite significantly from first down to fifth position, less than half a second. And if you're Epic and Artex, well, it's going to be a serious duel throughout this 36-lap campaign, Alex.
Oh, surely it's going to be. Just look at the gap. It's very, very tight between them. And I think Epic has something still to show on this qualifying. At least one lap more he has there to prove himself. Arctic as well can do it. Crampy said he was not feeling that comfortable today, but we will see if he can beat his PV.
Ferrari coming out of the pit lane right now. Here comes Carbon Racer in. Everything quiet on track. Wavy. I think he's on his way in as well here.
Yep, it's already done.
Mr. Driver DNB has been sent an invite. We'll get him back in as soon as we can, and appreciate you letting us know in the chat. And Epic and Relax, both Ferraris on outlaps right now. It will be Relax, the first of the pair. And he has a little bit more work to do, I'd say, compared to his teammate in this session if they want to extract the most of what seems to be the power in this Ferrari today. A 108.976 where Epic stands on the grid. And I have to say, Relax, a 109.679 will be looking to do the Scuderia some good. It was a great finish for Ferrari in Tier 4 last week, a 1-3 finish for the Scuderia. See what they can do here in the Tier 3 division today.
Well, they're surely doing good. At least with one driver. Ooh,
that is not how you want to be starting your lap, and that is going to be straight into the pit lane, surely, for Relax. Unless did it invalidate? Oh, he's quite lucky.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I have to say, he's quite lucky there. I thought for sure it was going to blow both laps.
I think he did it pretty early to the game to not consider as 2 laps, but I think he's aborted his lap, probably. At least he's not pushing that much, it seems. At least on his POV. Probably he's just burning fuel to do another lap after.
Epic, the other Ferrari. Well, he is going to give us a representation of what could potentially be pole position here in this qualifying session. The clock is ticking, 1.5 minutes remaining on our clock. There could be a potential desync. We have yellow flags popping up all over circuit right now as the Ferrari flies through Sector 1, setting it afire here. A 10th found, Alex, as he comes through into Sector 2, and this could be a serious challenge to the Red Bull.
It surely will be. Right now, Epic really improving. Look Look, he's really pushing right now. I think he missed a little bit that apex now before the DRS straight. We'll see if that traffic that he has ahead will affect him in some capacity. It doesn't seem like it doesn't take that curve on the inside too much. Downshifting as Carbon Racer is waving just ahead of him.
Oh,
That will
yep.
affect surely on his lap. We'll see if that will be enough to make him not improve. Opening DRS right now for the last straight 8 and will be.
Oh, that is tragic for the Ferrari right now. I have to say the Mercedes garage is going to be clapping. Maybe, I don't know. That was not so good. I think there's going to be some heads looking at that one, shaking.
Maka improving almost 2 tenths out of Sector 1, not on Sector 2. Artix really left the space there for the Mercedes driver. Artix really preparing his lap, but I don't think he has time. Artix, I don't think he has time. He doesn't improve there as Crampy, I think, has had a crash on that Audi section. And right now, Maka on the last sector, really pushing. Oh, this is going to be tight. I think he was improving.
O'Connor comes into 4th position here at the flag draw. Maka, 3rd position. You're 2/10 the improvement from him. Who else is coming through now?
Ramp into the pits. He had damage there after that spin. John, I think, is trying to improve. No, I think he has aborted his lap. 2 seconds of pace on Sector 1 as Wavy.
That's Wavy. Yeah, the Williams, a nice run, a 109, 149 in Epic. Well, he comes back through. After that unfortunate block that we saw in the last lap, he says, you know what? A 108 888. Beat that. And I don't think anybody has it right now in that car to maybe contest that. Here comes John into the pit lane. Nothing coming out of that AlphaTauri. You mentioned it earlier. Back row has no front end on that Alpine. We've seen so many drivers struggle in the session. I think we're finished for the evening with this qualifying. Epic, Artex, and Wavy are your top 3.
Out of nowhere, Epic. I didn't expect him to improve on R1 after he had someone blocking. I think it was the Mercedes of Carbon Racer on Sector 3 that, well, really cost him a couple of tenths surely on that lap. But, well, he proved us wrong. And he did it back-to-back qualifying laps, putting himself into P1 and almost a 10th difference, let's say. It's a very good margin to Artex, but it's still very, very close.
I agree 100%. It's a very tight gap on this grid, and we're going to go through it again in the formation lap. But of course, our top, well, Artex, that has a grid penalty. I wasn't aware of this, were you?
Oh, me neither.
So this is very interesting development here. It's a 108 888 coming out of Epic, the Swedish driver on pole in the Ferrari. And we have Artex. Well, the Red Bull, a 108 951, a stellar time. Unfortunately, a 5-position grid penalty handed out at some point in this race. Wavy will start second now in that Williams, a 109 149. So he's on the front row. Maka in the Mercedes, a 109 176. Crampy rounds out the top 5 qualifiers here, but of course it will be Artex who starts in 6th. Max O'Connor and the entirety of the drivers behind him will move up a slot. So Max O'Connor will actually start 5th here, if I'm correct. So that's going to be a little bit of a nice start for him. And a few of these other drivers all moving up. Not entirely sure where the 5 grid pen came from. But
I really don't think so. I really didn't watch the race director, but probably, well, if we have Artex there on the interview after that race, probably he can explain us what happened there on that qualifying. It won't be front row for him. I think it will be Wavy on that 2nd place alongside Epic. And not only that, but 3 drivers without setting a lap here for the qualifying session. It was, of course, Tema and Wisp who had a crash early on the session. And then Jasko got disqualified, so he will be starting on last place.
That is very unfortunate for the AlphaTauri as well. Jasko not going to be happy about this. And, well, 10 seconds counting down here. Of course, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the stream. My name is Strifium, hailing here from the Great White North of Canada. And joining me for Tier 3, as usual, of course, we had Unicorn last week, but it is Mr. Alejandro Bito here from Spain. And I think you're in Madrid right now, which is, I imagine it's nice over there. Hopefully it's nice over there.
A little bit hot here on summer. I prefer my land a little bit more. But of course, now we'll have a look on this grid because it's really looking interesting. Doesn't seem like it will be any drops of rain here today on Zandvoort. At
Well,
least anyone has said that on chat.
we haven't had an official weather report as far as I can tell, but of course I can say for certain not a single cloud of of any kind of intensity looming in the sky right now. It is quite clear.
Exactly. It's looking quite clear, and we can see the grid there with the tire choice. Of course, the top 10 qualified on those subs, so they will be starting on the same compound. But after that, well, just look, it's completely different. Only driver DNB breaking that color scheme. So from 11th place to 16th place on the mediums, driver DNB, Wisp, and Jasko, the three drivers to not settle up here on Zandvoort, will be starting on the mediums as well. So we'll see that strategy from driver DNB where he can land, because it will be very interesting to see a different strategy on that bottom 10.
Well, here we have it now. Welcome to the Netherlands. It is round 2 for the Tier 3 MRL Season 5 action. Epic in the Ferrari on pole position. Lining up next to him, it's Wavy in the Williams. We have Maka and Crampy on the second row. Max O'Connor, Dark, Artex, Daniel Monaf, Jean, and Backrow will round out the 10 drivers starting on softs. Moving through into the back end of the grid, we have Carbon Racer in the Mercedes with Relax behind him on the 6th row. Relax in the Ferrari, they're both starting on the mediums. We have Dan, Lavelle, Jose Manuel through 15. Hanos, Driver DNB, Sema, Wisp, and Yasko round out the 20 drivers for this one. And Driver DNB, the sole driver outside of the top 10 on the hard compound tires. And well, the lights are on, Alex. Take us away.
5 red lights here on Zandvoort. The engines are revving. We will see. It seems like Wavy had an amazing start. It's already alongside with the Ferrari. We will see on turn 1 on the Epics who's ahead. The Williams just diving on the inside. A little bit of contact, I think, or still really close between them. Epic holding P1, but Max O'Connor and Crampy as well. Actually, Max O'Connor is around. And Jan, and they're having an exchange, and that's massive contact between a lot of drivers. There's yellow flags already. Max O'Connor going into last place. Crampy and Wavy holding that podium for both Williams, and Wisp as well having some issues on that Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Epic right now retaining that lead right now. Maybe a little bit of desync here between Epic and Wavy. It looks like there's some lag going on in that Ferrari, or maybe it's on Wavy's end. Not yet sure. Wavy, a little bit of a snap here through Sector 2. His teammate, kind of a defense for him. When that happens, Crampy can kind of just drop a bit, ease off potentially, help his teammate get his legs back. Maka, Artex, and Dark, they're not going to make any kind of team dynamic easy on the Williams squad, though. And we've seen Wavy and Crampy. They're 1-3 in this championship right now. They've already had some team dynamics we saw in Bahrain. They're going to be looking to do similar actions here today in the Netherlands. And of course, second position for Wavy. We saw Crampy ahead of him in the last campaign. It's a little bit of a position swap as Epic, a 15-6 to open things up.
Oh, there's a lot of contact there on the main straight. I don't know who was that. I think it's Epic into the... What is Epic? Well, it's that...
Timing Tower, I think, is playing some
Timing Tower, but yeah,
tricks,
Relax
yeah.
had an issue. And there has been contact because he doesn't have any front wing. I think he had an issue on the last corner. We have seen that yesterday as well. So right now, Ferrari struggling a little bit with this with the, let's say, second driver for today's race, because that's not how you want to start a race. Alpine driver of back row as well into the pits. Wisp as well changing tires already, and that's not really how you want to start for GP.
I know is in that McLaren, not going to be that gravel trap, and well, we've got that yellow flag still up here through the sector. One thing to note, we're on the second lap, soon to be the third lap of racing, meaning that the DRS is going to start to come into play. A little bit more risk-taking, especially into turn 1, as that DRS is going to be in full utilization down the longest straight of the circuit. Here we have it now. Artex, he's going to be hunting down Maka here. Pushing and pushing, looking for that inside, because of course he took that grid penalty. He does not want to be in 5th position. He wants to be fighting up at the front where he started this in the qualifying, realistically. That grid penalty throwing a monkey wrench into his campaign. Crampy, Maka. Well, look at this. Crampy, the separation between Havy is extending ever so slightly as that Williams anchor is just slowly being lowered down into this big train.
I think that's what he has to do, because right now it doesn't really need to be that close to Wavy unless he wants to undercut his teammate. But it seems like Wavy more pace.
Big crash. That is actually Crampy, and there's been contact. I don't know who caught him there the most. Was it Artex? I'm looking for damage. Artex and Dark wheel to wheel right now as we come into turn 12. The Red Bull on the inside, getting the neat move done, and I think there might be damage on that Haas because there's Carbon Racer looking at him as well. Looking for the front end of that car, and I can't see any visible damage on the end plates. There isn't, but Carbon Racer is looking for him, and it's 4th position up for grabs right now. On the outside is the Mercedes as we come into turn 1. Who's later on the brakes? The inside's going to be impeded just a touch as Artex is there. Tight racing here for 3rd position as Artex is in lead of this train. Meanwhile, Wavy in that Williams has 4 seconds of separation and 1.7 to Epic in front.
Oh god, there was actually 2 cars spinning. I think it was Crampy and Tema as well behind, caused 2 collisions, 2 pileups there on the same sector, and a lot of drivers right now pitting. Didn't want of Crampy and Maka really affected after those collisions. Artex, I think he has damage because he's struggling a lot on this section.
Look at this train. It's bumper to bumper. Carbon Racer looking around the outside now. Dark putting up a fight huge here. DRS for both drivers. Carbon Racer now, he's on the outside as we come into 12. On the inside for the switchback through now. Can he get this away from Dark? It's 4th position up for grabs. He's still there wheel to wheel. Look at this wild battle as we come into the penultimate turn.
Dark is holding it. Dark is holding it. Carbon Racer at those mediums is pushing a lot as Dark. Well, Artex into the pits. I think he has damage, and Dark right now, without any slipstream, will be vulnerable to Carbon Racer on the outside with the mediums. He will try it. He doesn't have that much grip though, and he knows Dark just ahead right now into podium's places. But Carbon Racer, is doing an amazing start of this race. He's the first driver with the mediums, and he's pushing for the podium, surely.
Yeah, 7 positions made up for him. Dan, 1.8 seconds on the rear. Carbon Racer finding himself in a little bit of a pocket where he can hunt for a podium, have a little bit of a gap behind. And him so far, he's looking for his 8th overtake, his 8th position gained of this campaign. It's lovely to see, it really is. And Dark right now is just holding everything he can in that Haas against this medium runner. And I cannot believe the defense he's putting up right now. 5.3 seconds and growing. Wavy has not been able to hold too well with Epic here. And there's some gaps really extending in this grid as we've had a variety of coming to the pits, a variety of drivers struggling, and there's Dan.
Oh, Dan rejoining the track, and I think it's been very close with Max O'Connor and him. I think Max O'Connor doesn't have damage there. He's just avoided at the last minute, side by side still, I think, on that place as Carbon Racer goes into pit 3 on the outside of turn 1, now fully ahead. And that's beautiful racing between these two.
I can confirm that anyone that is having issues with the stream, I'm very unfortunate to see those comments in the chat, but I can confirm that it is not on our end.
Relax, having a spin on the last corner, and that's not his best race. I can tell you, as Danny Molov retired, I think, on the pits. Not feeling great today. He retired on the pits as Relax. I think probably gonna do the same, or probably just change the tires. But right now, on last place, a lot of gap out of him, and changing to the mediums.
Well, that is, of course, a very unfortunate situation when you find a driver retire so early in a race, but when grids do get as competitive as they have gotten in these divisions, there are definitely scenarios like today where I can't necessarily blame a driver. And, well, the Netherlands presenting a lot of unique dynamics and difficulties for everyone. Look at all the pit stops we've had come through already. We've had 7 pit stops already in this race, discounting Daniel Moneff, Sema, Artex.
exchanging Arctic with the hearts, new hearts. I don't think that's the best strategy to do here. Putting the hearts seems like they are slow. Right now he's really pushing with those, but I think we saw yesterday someone do like 27 laps, sorry, on the mediums without punctures or I think risky situations. But we'll see later because a lot of drivers like Maka, Relax, Backrow, Crampy have mediums, probably aiming to go to the end. But I don't know. I won't be sure if they will be able to do it.
Dark. Ooh, really struggling through this penultimate turn right now, and he's dropping time massively to Carbon Racer. I'm not sure what has occurred.
That's a big mistake on second to last corner straight. I think he put a wheel into the curb on the inside, and then he lost 1 second. He lost
Lavelle,
the DRS as well.
Yasko, Lavelle on the inside, holding everything he can right now against the AlphaTauri. Yasko pushing for 5th position. And what a race it's been for Yasko. He started this one at the back. 14 positions gained. We're on lap 8, and he's got another one on the menu. He's looking to get dessert right now, it would seem.
Surely he's doing an amazing job from last place, and with a very good strategy there with those mediums. Lovell on the same one, but it seems like Jasko can't get through the reserve driver for Alfa Romeo today. Seems like they have almost the same pace.
We'll have to see what kind of pace Yasko can carry on the rear now as we come into turn 12. DRS and utilization. Look at the speed here. I don't know if Lavelle has a chance here. Yasko on the inside. Lavelle really later on the brakes there to kind of come around the outside and just not give Yasko any opportunity. Beautifully held there from Lavelle.
Amazing. He knew the second corner was a left-hander, and then he had the inside there, but now it will be very difficult as Jasko has DRS. DRS now going into the inside line.
Wow.
From Jasko now into P5.
Lavelle, he tried to close the door off on that inside line. He did not close the door enough. And, well, Yasko slipping on through on the inside says, don't even think about it. What a nice move there.
Amazing from Jasko. Second place, if I remember correctly, on Tier 3 last season, as Wisp and who knows have an exchange on the main straight as well. And Cramp is really, really close against these two drivers. And with fresher tires, Jose Manuel and Chema having an exchange.
Crampy tires half the age of Hanaud's right now. And you mentioned Hanaud's being overtaken by Wisp. I imagine it won't be long before we see it from Crampy here. The question is, where does he get this done?
It will be difficult surely, but we will see if Crampy can find a space to put that Williams, as Dan and driver DMB have an exchange for 7th place. It seems like those meters are putting a lot of rip into that Haas. Now gaining some time as I jump back into Crampy, because I think these three drivers are catching Tema.
Yeah, I think you're right. 1.1 and dropping this gap from Wisp to SEMA, and he's just going to bring a bit of a train with him. SEMA not going to be too thrilled about that, even remotely. Especially if Wisp gets him. Got a yellow flag. Relax, one of the Ferraris.
Let's relax. Oh, I was really, really scared. I saw 2 dots. 2 were red, 1 yellow flag, and for a moment I thought it was Epic who was losing the lead, as Sam and Wisp having an exchange there on turn 4. Is this Wisp ahead? And Hanaud's as well.
Seema's just dropped every position there. Crampy hunting down Hanaud's on the rear of all of this. He dropped Wisp, Hanaud's, and Crampy.
Crampy's really pushing there. He's really on the back of that McLaren, and he knows he needs to make the move to make the strategy work. He has pitted already, and he doesn't really want to lose more time now opening the DRS, but Hanaud does as well, so it will be very difficult to overtake, pushing that battery. That really helps that Williams to still get on that DRS window, but Crampy doesn't find the way still.
Battles you like to see. Lavelle and Yasko, they're still tight on track. Crampy really hunting Hanaud's here. Surely we see the move into turn 1 now. for 10th position as far as the timing tower is telling us right now. It's actually not 10th, but there it is on the inside. Crampy in the Williams. A very neat move from him, and he maintains a 1 second gap to Wisp in front, which is absolutely crucial. Yellow flag coming up through sector 2. Doesn't look like anyone's stationary there. We've still only had Daniel Monaf retire in this race.
Relax had some issues there. I think he spun twice on that last lap. Now he has changed to softs. Not having the best race, surely. The Ferrari driver, as his teammate, is leading this race. 2.3 is the gap at Sema.
Yeah, that's Sema coming out of
New Hearts.
That's just right ahead of turn 3. And that is not what you want to be doing on fresh tires. Fortunately, it does not look like he has any front end damage.
I think he lost it on the rear. That's very common to do with new tires. You don't get used to the grip really well that rapidly. And well, struggling a lot today, it seems. As we have another yellow flag. I think that's Jan. Yeah, that's Jan on the same corner as Artex goes just behind him, avoiding that contact. And jumping into P10 as Crampy overtakes Wisp. So he gains another place as he has now fresh air ahead of him, 2.4, before catching Jose Manuel. So we'll see if he can get it. Of course, better tires for him. Less wear should be. At least less laps on those mediums. But it's really looking interesting for him because we're on lap 12. He has pitted already. And he will try to bring those tires to the end.
That's not what you want to do.
Spins.
That's not what you want to do at all. The Williams is not having a good day today. And you know what, Alex? He spoke to us briefly before this race. And if I remember correctly, he was swearing up and down about this place.
He doesn't like Zandvoort.
He was not happy to be here today.
He was not indeed. And well, he has proven why he doesn't like it. It's really difficult to drive this track. Losing the rear is something really usual. We have seen it there on braking. I think it was that he lost that rear of the car. Now dropping it to P17 after that work that he did there his last laps. It's really a shame to see a driver like Crampy. Well, actually leading the championship he was before this round. Now I think he will drop at least a couple of places as Epic is leading this race and R6 is on the points.
Bell, Dan, driver, Max O'Connor. Who else do we have there? No, that ends with Max O'Connor. All in formation on the rear of Yasko.
Oh. Epic jumping into the pits, Wavy jumping into the pits. Sorry to interrupt there, but it's important. The leaders are pitting, and Epic is pitting for the mediums. We'll see.
Dark
Wavy
stays out.
Yeah,
Dark stayed out, so he's going to go for another lap, maybe. Surely he responds to this next lap. He's just come out in front of Sema, who has now effectively been lapped with Relax on this grid.
Epic returning just ahead of Jasko. Clean air for him, that's very important. And where does Wavy have land after this? Wavy's on 6th place. I'll list on my screen.
Yeah, the timing tower right now is it's doing its thing. You have to give it a moment.
Dude, Wavy has had a really slow pit stop.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. He's got damage. His front left is off.
Oh yeah, that explains a lot. Because Epic is just ahead of the train and Wavy is just a lot far back than that. Wavy dropping into P11 and probably even more places after he will have surely to pit again. That's front damage on the left part of that front wing. And that's probably a podium gone for him.
That is very unfortunate. But right now I can confirm Carbon Racer is in lead of this race. The Mercedes driver on his 14-lap old, soon to be 15-lap old mediums. He started this race on these tires and we've had another issue here. There's a Ferrari off. That is of course going to be... Wait a moment.
DNF.
ENF is out, yeah. Or, relax. Ah, can't even catch myself. Relax. Out of this race. Lap 15, Epic lagging a bit here. What has gone on with that other Ferrari? That was just outside of... Where was that? Turn 2?
4, I think. I think it was turn 4 on the exit from traction. I think he lost it there. On that traction, it's really, really difficult after that bunker zone. But, well, he lost it. He didn't have the best race on this 14, 15 laps. As we have another issue, and I think that's Sema letting everyone go.
Yeah, blue
So
flags, I
not any
imagine.
big deal. Yeah, it's blue. Jumps into the pit. The overcut doesn't seem like it will work, but let's see if he has gained some time.
What the heck? Oh my god! What the What are we seeing here?
I think that's...
Is this lobby broken right now? Are we seeing a completely destroyed lobby or what?
I only think when drivers are pitting, something happens. Because it's like they are reporting, but for me, Derek right now is, well, finishing sector 1 without any issue. He pitted for new mediums. He's up into P7. As Lobel had a spin before.
Well, the stream knows I'm not crazy because they saw what I saw.
I saw it as well as Lobel has another spin with that hot tires on the rears, losing 4 places, even more. Down into P16, he was in a very good place, and right now with that 15 lap, all mediums really, really struggling to keep the car on track. As I think it's Wavy who did a double pit stop today. He's just gonna overtake him.
This race, I have to say, has really not shaped up how I had anticipated to a certain extent. I mean, I did expect there to be some turbulence. I expected there to be some hurdles for these drivers to overcome, some issues, some spins. We saw it in both the previous races this week already. But this race now, if you look at the separation and the tire strategies and all the differential, it has really turned into something else. I mean, I thought we'd be seeing a little bit more of a train through this grid here in the Tier 3 division. We saw a really, really tight qualifying, but man, has this track ever presented some difficulties. Of course, tonight, we're going to be going around again here for the Americas Tier 1 division. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Of course, 2 a.m. for our dear friends in the UK and 9 in Central Europe. Or, sorry, 3 a.m. in Central Europe. All my time zones figured the heck out. Here in Canada.
Surely we won't stop racing, even if the game doesn't want us to race. We will be still racing. It is what it is. We will try to face it. Right now it seems like it's fixed, as Backrow and John have an exchange. I think John had a mistake there on sector 3. Now losing a little bit of time to the Alpine, and with new mediums, so he'll try to push and not be stuck there behind. And while he's pushing with DRS now on the inside of turn 1, it seems like a pretty easy move. Back row on the outside line, I don't think he has that grip to keep it. And John is up into, I would say, P10 or P6.
Timing tower right now is I don't know why it's doing this, but it's given me a real headache.
I don't think it's the best time tower we have seen, but right now it seems like Epic is leading from Jasco and Carbon Racer, I would say. No, sorry. Carbon Racer.
Carbon Racer is still in the lead. Yeah, he hasn't come in. It's Epic in second, Yasko third here with Driver. He's narrowing that gap down. Well, he's holding well with Yasko here. It's hards versus mediums now as we draw into this later stage of the stint for both drivers. We're on lap 18, 19. The timing tower will tell me in a minute, surely, what lap we're on. I think we're on 19.
Yeah, I think we should be on 19. Carbon Racer leading, as we said, yet to pit. Epic, I think 6 seconds behind, I would say, if I remember. Net leader. and he has a lot of like a lot of gap. I think the next driver would be Dark, who has speeded. Well, Artex has speeded, but he's on the hards. He can go to the end, but he will be suffering on pace, I think, on the last stage of the race. But right now he's doing a very good job after that 5-place grid penalty, and I think he had damage as well after that contact with Crampy on sector 2, I think it was. Now, recovering on
Ooh, who
P5. Oh
knows?
no!
Oh, he's caught John now, and there's a big issue here as Maka, I think, just drove into him. Surely that's a safety, and it is. Safety car has been deployed here on lap 19. There's a Mercedes on circuit, Maka, missing the entirety of his front end on that car. And all of these drivers, Yasko, Carbon Racer has missed it, Epic has missed it, but Yasko, Driver DNB have come in. They haven't caught the safety car. Carbon Racer is still in lead of this race.
It's not that bad. Yeah,
he's all right.
I think they have the lab still that the Delta will be controlled, so they won't be losing, I think, places. I think Carbon Racer might be the net leader for now if he pits on their safety car for new softs. Epic has to do it to protect himself from other drivers. He doesn't have anything to lose, and a lot of everyone is putting the softs. Still, I think there's drivers putting the mediums. I think Artex pitted for mediums. Dark pitting for mediums, Dan pitting for mediums. But a lot of drivers pitting for subs, and I think the subs can go this distance because probably green flag will be on lap 22, so it's 14, 15 laps of softs. They only need to keep it.
What a shakeup now. What a big shuffle we've had into this race. We're on lap 20, and drivers now. Carbon Racer, the leader of this race, is coming in for a fresh set of rubber, and it's going to be the soft compound tires right as he gets into the pit lane. And in and out he goes. Epic coming down. He will take first. He's stayed out.
Epic not pitting.
Yeah, he's
Epic
stayed
not
out.
pitting. We'll see Max O'Connor. We'll see Max O'Connor what he does because he's on fresh mediums. Unless he wants softs. Nothing. I mean, it's really tight. He's not pitting. He's not pitting. Max O'Connor is not pitting, so he'll be, I think, keeping that P4. But it will be very difficult to battle for the podiums as Carbon Racer and Jasko have new softs, and they will be stretching that gap surely between both of them and Max O'Connor. Driver DMB will need to overtake Max O'Connor on that restart. He's on new soft, but now, well, after that we have a train of mediums. There's Artex, Dark, Dan, and Jose Manuel with those mediums that will be a wall between the podium and Wiz, Backrow, Crampy, and those drivers as well on new softs. So we'll have to see as Chema has retired, I think, on pits.
Yeah,
Before that safety car.
I think he was in a position here, Sima, where he's lapped. And for him, under a safety car, there's very few opportunities to really overtake a safety car, try and unlap yourself. He probably just felt there wasn't any opportunity to do anything else in this race. He would have been caught with blue flags. He would have been in a very tough situation where, you know, there could be penalties incurred, there could be damage, there could be collisions, and I think that maybe retiring around a circuit like Zandvoort, you know, you're past that halfway point in a race, right? You have all these blue flags waving, you're in and around the grid. I think that it's going to be maybe a good call, a healthy call to come in. A tough race for Sima here. Very tough race.
Surely. For Hanos as well, I think he has spun out of turn 4. No, is that Chema's car on my track map? I don't know if you have it as well, but I see a stationary McLaren after 4. We hope.
I think that's just his. Issue. Yeah, I think it's gone now there. So that's just Siemens' car coming out of the pit lane. It's something that we've Alex, you'd know it better than anybody, wouldn't you? Yeah, those cars coming out of the pit lane in season 3 for you?
Season 3 on Spain twice. Well, we'll move on.
Yeah, 2 home GPs, no big deal.
It truly was not that good, but of course it was 2 seasons ago, and of course we had some fun of that, and it will be a very good thing.
You laugh now, but at the time you were laughing very much.
No, the AI cars were really overtake, let's say, and it caused some issues. We hope that this time it didn't cause any issue for any of these. Temas cars just gone right now, and I think probably safety car can be green 23. Still waiting for some drivers to put him the queue. I think Maka was waiting a little bit, but now pushing. Yeah, and
Alrighty. This is the moment we have all been waiting for now. Our safety car has turned out the lights, and it is on its way in. And, well, red car leading the race to another, as Epic, the Ferrari, will take us away here. He's not slowing down much as I would think he should on the safety car. I don't know if he's ever let his safety car restart before, but this is going to be, and things are already unfolding in a very dynamic situation as 5-second penalties have been awarded between Jean and Crampy. That car's coming in. Maxo Racer, both of these drivers looking quite tight to their rivals, but it's Max O'Connor who's going to be looking the closest for an early move. Him to driver DNB. It's mediums versus softs. What a race restart. This has been quite shaky as we come down through turn 3. Rear of Yasko. Artex is there as well on the rear of the Alpine. Man, oh man, things are really tight now, of course, and it's what you love to see.
Hano's spun on turn 5, dropping that field, but everyone is very, very tight right now. 2 soft runners on the leader, Epic, who didn't change start, and I really don't understand why. He was not gonna lose any position, and he was on the same tires as the leader. So right now, Epic keeping that first the moment, but Carbon Racer was really close, as well as Zasko to lose. Podium Max O'Connor with older and slower tires was trying to overtake him on the outside, but right now Epic will have a difficult position to defend as Carbon Racer is just pushing that energy. He knows he has to do it now.
Yeah, it's a very important move that needs to happen for Carbon Racer. It is for race lead. There's a slight tap from the Mercedes to the rear of that Ferrari, and just behind them, Wisp wheeled Jose Manuel through turn 1 on the inside for Wisp right now, holding station in that Red Bull. It's mediums again, softs for Jose. However, his mediums, they might be better at the end of this race versus these softs. We'll just have to see how them through, fighting off all of these soft runners behind him.
Really, really close. Still Carbon Racer. There are only 210, 310s dancing. He really needs that lead now, or he's waiting for the DRS. We'll have to see. Oh, Max O'Connor. Max O'Connor had an issue, I think. Yeah, Max O'Connor spun. He touched the ground. He's down into P16, and I think he's trapped on the curb. He can't move that reset to track, actually, because he was not able to move the car. Right now, Dan plays to Jose Manuel up into P7. Those Red Bull really woman Artex with the mediums holding driver DMB, who was overtaking on that restart. Is trying to push. DRS is enabled, Triff.
Yeah, DRS enabled. Isn't a move yet for Carbon or Yasko. Neither driver on these softs able to do anything. Ferrari, who's showing great consistency on the mediums. Really great consistency. And he's putting that car in all the right places. Look at this. Carbon races it. What a launch. That's all about the softs right now.
He opened of the corner, and then he had the switchback, and that was beautiful. It was beautiful from Carbon Racer. Now on, Epic still holding there on the DRS range, half a second. We'll see if they come alive there at the end of the stint, but I don't think so. I think the sub will be still be fast at the end of this race, as Maka and Crampy have an exchange, probably having some issues as Maka goes on the inside. Max O'Connor creating another flag. Oh, what a move from Carbon Racer.
Yeah, that was a really nice move there, Carbon. And this race coming alight now with that start. We're just getting into that final third of action. Artex driver DN 4 and 5 right now within this train. Quite Tex, well, we saw him qualify on the front row, take a 5-place grid penalty. Now he's in 4th position, hunting down a potential podium. And if you're a Red Bull fan, you're happy about that.
Yeah, he's doing amazing with those mediums. He's really well. He said fastest lap, so he's really pushing. It seems like the mediums are working for him. Probably he was not confident enough with his setup and together. As Wavy's trying it on the fast right-hander, he has to yield there. As Backrow he's battling for points. Wavy has a penalty, I think, from multiple warnings, so it's 3 seconds for the Williams driver. Now jumping into Jasko because he's very close, and Dan. I think Dan lost the place to Wisp. Wisp diving there before the DRS straight, both with DRS Haas now to defend of that Haas, who will try to dive bomb. Oh, and there's contact. He's around.
Meanwhile, right behind them. Oh my, Dan He's really come around there as, look at that. Everyone pushing through. Oh, Wavy. Wavy.
A lot of damage to Wavy. Has not had the best race. He would thought. Epic and Jasko exchanging positions there for the second place. Epic on turn 1 is still very close. Jasko putting the wheel, and now with those softs having that extra traction, Epic losing the place, and Jasko's up into P2, and Artex wants that podium as well. He wants to repeat podium. But Epic as well, they did podium on Bahrain, I think, if I remember. Now he has to yield, and Artex is, well, up into P3 after all of everything that he had on this race.
It's a really, really good campaign and a crawlback for Artex. Bull, driver DNB, Jose Manuel hunting him down. Wisp is here. The train is starting to close up just a touch. Back row, a little bit of a break in the train right now, but he's drawing it back in. 1.2 is the gap.
Jose Manuel seems like very close to driver DMB, but Artex, I think he's gonna try it again. But right now with Jasko as Lovell and Janik Sainz there, I think on the
DRS.
chicane.
Jasko dropped the DRS to Carbon Racer here. I think he's completely exposed to Artex. No on the rear wing. Jasko is under threat. Artex, does he go for it here? Surely he goes for it here. Through the inside. Artex in the Red Bull. Jasko sees him. It's wheel done. Jasko holding with everything he's got. Artex has not made the move stick through on the inside. Jose Manuel now Wisp. They are going wheel to wheel in the same section of circuit here. Wisp not able to get through on the Red Bull either.
Lovell holding place with Jan as well. A lot of good defending we're seeing here. Able to overtake now Hanos and Dam. Well, exchange because Dam goes into the pits after the last lap, and that was very unfortunate as Artex still closing that gap. But Jasko has closed the gap to Carbon Racer, and well, now he has DRS to defend from the attack of Artex and probably even attacking Carbon Racer. So it's 8 laps and 1 sector to go, and Jasko is still on DRS range.
Lovell and Jean have an exchange now, as Jean doing everything he can despite his 5-second penalty to keep ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Less than 3/10 is the gap. DRS back to Lovell, but nothing out of him yet to try and do anything about that switch. There could be a potential switchback opportunity into turn 1, but now we come back to Artex. He's looking for Jasko. This is how we saw it the last time. This time around, however, Jasko did some work. He caught back up to Carbon Racer. He got himself back in that DRS range. That rear wing was wide open to defend against Artex, and that's crucial for the AlphaTauris.
They don't have anything to play with. I think both of them draining that battery. No ERS to attack, to defend, so it's pure to the straight line speed of the setup for both of them, as Webby says, fastest lap. But it's really almost the same battery for both of them, and they are struggling because Jasko used it not only to defend but to close the gap to Carbon Racer and catch that DRS, and Artex as well. Artex tried it the other lap to put
Jose
the
Manuel
car ahead.
Oh, he gets driver there. Good traction coming out of Jose. A neat move on the inside for the Red Bull, getting through on the Alpine. Right now, Wisp is right on his rear. We're going to jump back in a moment. Really quick, though. Artex, does he have Jasko? Oh, it's tight, but they're both utilizing the entirety of that battery. I don't think we're going to see a move here. It would have to be a big risk, and there he goes for the big risk. A big lunge coming through turn 1. Artex has not made that move stick. That was a huge risk, and Wisp right now and driver DNB, they're tight as we come through turn 2. A lot of battles taking shape here, and a lot of really tight ones at that.
I don't know how he stopped that. It's going to be contact, and probably he was going to be the car that was going to be around because he was on that inside, really close with that curb and that side pod of Jasko. He managed to survive there, but he's losing a lot of energy, and I don't think that's the best way to do it. I think he needs to really reserve a little bit as he's on DRS, and we have a spin. I think it's Jose Manuel, yeah?
Yeah, he's dropped position to 11th now. He's going to drop a couple more as Jean comes through. Well, he didn't lose the one to Lovell, and he's a brick wall in front of Lovell. There's contact.
Really close as Lovell overtakes now Jose Manuel. We have a yellow flag as Max O'Connor retires, and Aston Martin will not be having any points today here on Zandvoort for Tier 3 action, as driver DMB has to protect Wisp and back row. They're fighting.
Again from Artex, a big lunge into Yasko. This time contact.
Wow, that was really, really, really late. I would say more than the last time. And well, still on P3 for Artex. Maka, meanwhile, on the back of, well, I think Backrover took, no, Whisper took driver DMB, but Maka now has closed the gap to both Alpines, as Jose Manuel Lowe will have an exchange, I think, on Sector 1, as the A of Max O'Connor exit the pits. No issues there caused by that Aston Martin car. Right now, Maka really close as well on that straight. Driver DMB seems that he's struggling a lot, and Backrow is really pushing his teammate for some points, a couple of points.
Well, Maka just looking to try and see what happens between these two teammates right now, and if team orders need to happen, they need to happen quick, because we're about to come into a DRS range where Maka might just put himself in their way.
Artex pushing the battery, he doesn't have more to utilize. We'll see if he jumps again. Well, he's trying it again, and that's so late. I don't know if that's legal, but he had the position there to P2. He yielded, probably he yielded. He has Yasko on the outside, and Yasko.
Oh, that's a huge collision. Yasko and Artex getting real hard through there, and there's a reset to track in the line. Oh my. Artex, my friend. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
I think he's, well, I think he's finished. Yep, there we go. That's
Tire
a
on track.
That's not the best way to finish. No. He returned on track. He was not happy about that. He had damaged safety car on lap 32 of 36.
What has caused the safety car here now? This is
I think it's the damage and the retard of track. I think it's the damage and the retard of Artex into the track.
Well, this is a major development in this race now, as we have a safety car, a full safety car deployment on lap 32, about to be lap 33.
Well, it has changed, I don't think, massively. It will, of course, regroup all the drivers. I think, well, probably Dark and Epic might be the ones that are gaining here, as probably the mediums can be well, equalizing on pace with the softs. And now, well, catching the safety car, of course, everyone will be packed. Hano speeding, level pitting for new softs. That's what they have to do. They won't be lapped, as the leader has catch the safety car. And Wavy probably as well saved, because he was not having the best race either. He's in last place, well, 14th. And changing for new softs, and well, another 3 laps, I think he will have to try to gain some places and probably end into the points.
Well, surely that safety car is going to be coming in very soon here. The entirety of this grid now catching up as they can, and these drivers with penalties, what an unfortunately bad circumstance to find yourself in with these penalties. Look at this. So you've got 5 seconds crampy. John's got 5. The entirety of this grid is going to get bunched up, potentially, so that those drivers actually shoot all the way to the back.
Chad asking if Jasko has damage. I don't think Jasko had damage. The contact was between the side pod of the AlphaTauri and the front wheel of Artex. It was really difficult to manage. Artex was probably not even alongside there on the outside line, and probably Jasko didn't took that inside line that much. But probably Artex didn't expect. He was carrying a lot of speed, not only in turn 1 but in turn 3, and well, then the contact was made. Of course, the stewards will review that incident if it's reported, but right now Jasko keeping that second place. Artex, after having the damage, retiring on track and causing that safety car.
It was a very different, or also difficult situation for Artex when you think about it. He was not giving himself or doing himself any favors in this race when you think about how he was approaching that turn one. He did not have a lot of battery, unfortunately, going into the turn. Yasko had a good track position. He had the good tires, and he was doing well to defend it. And Artex, he was seemingly liking to send it a little bit late, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a steward. I'm just going to broadcast it and talk about it as it was seen here. He was sending it and diving through on that inside line. I think it was 4 times consecutively that we saw.
Yeah, I think it was 3 times Artex tried to dive. 1 good, probably would say. 2 were a little bit dangerous, a little bit from far back. A safety car is gonna be called on this lap. 2 laps of sprint.
Yasko has spun here under safety car. He's got front left end plate damage, and he's gonna be rejoining the track at the absolute back of this grid.
And well, that's just amazing, as Carbon Racer will try to, of course, restart this race. 2 laps to go. Dark and Epic jumping back into the podium, doing an amazing race. These 3 drivers. Carbon Racer, it seems like he's pushed already. Wisp is very close to the podium as well, and he will try on Epic on turn 1. We'll see on those softs. They have the grip. He's jumping into P3. Is Wisp on the podium right now? Yes, he is. And Epic,
oh my god.
Oh.
Epic losing the car. Reset the track. Hanoz has been caught. Maka has been caught coming through turn 3. Who's that? Jose Manuel in the Red Bull. Everything's coming loose here in the finale of this race. We're on the penultimate round of round 2. Netherlands for tier 3. What the heck has gone on?
Oh, this is really close. Jan as well on Wavy. Really touch and go between both drivers, P7 and P8, as Williams go again into the points. Wavy was P14 on this restart. After Zasko's incident, it was 13. Zasko has DNF, I think, on the pit lane. Maka and Jose Manuel have... Oh, Jose Manuel has... What happened to Jose Manuel? He lost... He has damage, I think, on that front end.
Well, he had been collected in that turn 3. Now he's just driven straight in a wall. And some emotions and tempers, I imagine, running high here in this race as we approach the final lap. Jose can't turn this car even remotely. Carbon Racer now. He is on the final lap of this race. He's on the soft compound tires, nearing a second the gap between him and Dark. Dark has Wisp in his rear view by just about half a second. It's a battle for podiums here. Back row. Driver DNB are here as well. Lavelle has had an issue in that Alfa Romeo, and he's just done that through turn 13 and 14. Jose Manuel into the pit lane with a retirement, and we've got 12 drivers that'll finish this race, potentially.
Yeah, really intense things have happened here on Zandvoort. Really difficult track to manage a lot of things, and well, we have seen it now. A lot of drivers with that DNF tag on that time tower, but right now eyes glued on Carbon Racer because he is gonna finish. At least it seems he's on sector 3 on last lap on P1. He had that safety car that was perfect for his strategy, and then he kept that second place, overtaking Epic, was dropped into P9, and Carbon Racer with a fantastic strategy will cross P1 to win Zandvoort. On tier 3, Jar will be P2 and Wisp. Out of nowhere, I would say. He will cross on P3, back row P4, driver DMB on P5, Epic jumps into P6 after penalty. Shrampy on 7th place. John, Wavy, Maka will be the last to score points here on Zandvoort, as Hanoz and Lovell will be the only one, the only driver, sorry, to finish this race without points.
Yeah, it's a very wild campaign here after that restart at the end. We're not entirely sure how it was triggered or what exactly triggered it, but we had that late safety car really throwing a monkey wrench into this campaign for round 2 of tier 3. Of course, I think this race may just be one of the most dramatic races of the season so far, as it's now, well, it's our 10th race of MRL this season. 3rd around Netherlands. What a race!
Yeah, it's been really intense. A lot of action, not only on overtaking, but on issues, on incidents as well between these drivers. You just see a lot of retirements, a lot of battles for that podium. The podium was really changing lap after lap, and we have seen that as Carbon Racer wins here on Zandvoort, and it has been an amazing race for him. He nailed it. I think he didn't do any mistake on this race. As Dark with the Haas on P2 and Wisp on that Alfa Romeo on P3.
It's a great race, I think, overall for everyone watching. There was tons of action, tons of drama and intensity to really present an experience of entertainment, to say the least. And I think nobody else will be happier about this one than these top three in the podium, because look at how this race went. There was so many spins, so many situations and scenarios where they needed to avoid cars. There was debris on track. We had the 2 safety cars. You can see penalties played a role here as well. And it was just a really wild race. And I think a lot of struggling here for the Tier 3 division in Zandvoort as well. But hats off to Carbon Racer, 11th position to the race win for him. Dark 6th to 2nd, and it was Wisp who had a major comeback drive from where he landed. 19th position in quali. He advances all the way to 3rd position for the squad to take a podium. And we'll be talking to these 3 podium finishers hopefully in the next coming moments. But that was a very intense and interesting campaign, to say the least, and I imagine stewards are going to have their hands full with this one. But of course,
sure they will.
definitely will. And now we're going to be jumping into a quick interview with our podium finishers. Of course, taking 3rd position today. What a race. 19th in qualifying. Wisp, welcome to the commentary. How are you feeling after 36 laps of the Netherlands?
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
I feel good. Kinda got sad from quali. I made a little mistake, but it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, thoughts on that late safety car at all, or do you have any idea what caused it?
I think there was a crash behind me. I'm not really sure. I think it was the Aston or something that spun at turn 3. I don't know. But he saved me because I was kind of low on fuel. So, yeah.
If there hadn't been a second safety car low on fuel, would you have made it to the line with fuel, or would you have
No.
been out? No.
I was 0.30 down.
So you were, oh wow, so you were really doing what you could in the end then to save fuel on that safety car. It probably got you right where you needed to be. So a little bit of luck in the end for you, of course. And well, Russia next week. How you feeling? Is it a circuit you're going to be happy to go racing around, or do you have confidence going in there after this race?
I haven't really driven the track yet. I did a few laps on time trial, and yeah, it feels really good. I really like the flow of it. So yeah, it just depends on how it does in the race and if I can get good time there. But yeah, it feels good.
Your expectations for Zandvoort today, I wanted to ask you about those. Of course, 19th in qualifying. Was there a big expectation for today's race? Did you have, you knew you had the pace? Was there just errors in qualifying, of course, that didn't get you where you wanted to be? The crash, not good, obviously.
Yeah, I done a lot of practice, and I was doing practice lobbies before this, like an hour before, and I think I was doing 0.9 flats, and I did a 0.8, I think 9 or something. So I think I could have been fighting for the pole position, but I just made a big mistake in quality on the mediums.
Well, it was a good race overall. A little bit of drama through this one, and well, you made it through. You made it to the podium. Big congratulations to you. Any messages for the viewers before we head on to speak to Dark?
Feels good, man, I guess.
Feels good.
Thank you. Feels good, man, yeah.
Well, good luck next week in round 3. Alex, any questions for Wisp?
No, just congratulations, because it's very difficult to do that on Zandvoort from, I think it was last row to the podium. So yeah, congratulations, and looking for the next race.
Thank you.
All right, that was Wisp, ladies and gentlemen. Now joining us for an interview, it is going to be our 2nd position finisher in the Haas. Well, things did not go ideally for you at the start of today's session, qualifying, your outlap, some debris coming off that front wing, but you find yourself, Dark, 2nd position finishing this race. Let's have your thoughts on it.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't very confident going into Zandvoort today. Obviously, yeah, talk about the outlap. Didn't really go too well. But yeah, I'm actually really excited I got the P2 today. Fair play to Carbon for the pace he had as well.
Yeah, it was a wild race to the end there. A lot of yellow flags going up, a lot of yellow flags throughout the entire race, but only 2 safety cars. Were there moments through the race where you thought, hey, there's going to be a safety car? Was it maybe a strategy for you coming in today? Or were you just coming in here looking to do the best race you could?
I was just trying to, honestly, I was just trying to do the normal. I wasn't thinking there was going to be safety cars, but I was just doing my normal race of soft medium. And then I thought I made a mistake by going onto the mediums on the first safety car, but obviously it worked out for me.
Yeah, it was a good race. Next up, we have Russia. Russia, a very difficult circuit for some, a very easy circuit for others. How is it for you?
I feel confident going into Russia.
Sochi
I liked it in
Autodrome.
2020, so let's hope I like it in 2021.
Well, it's a good points haul for Haas today. Of course, Dan was here in a reserve capacity. It must feel good having a reserve there, be able to come through, still take a podium, and bring good points for the team. I imagine, has there been any communication on a team level at Haas?
Yeah, there's been a few communications. They definitely helped out this weekend. Or
That's
this week.
Very good to hear that, of course. Bido, do you have any questions for Dark?
Just a congratulations, because I think there was a lot of issues, I would say, on the race, and just avoiding them all, it was a really good effort, I think, for everyone who just finished on the points. So yeah, very good for you, and of course, we hope you have a good race on Russia as well.
Thank you.
Take care, Dark, and a great race.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Dark, ladies and gentlemen, our Haas driver taking P2. Now it is time to talk to our race winner, our 11th position starter in this campaign. And, well, it's not often you see an 11th position starter fight through as much as you did today, Carbon, but congratulations on a very well-deserved victory. Consistency was on your side today as well. How are you feeling after round 2?
Yeah, thank you. Well, it was very unexpected starting from P11 on the medium alternate strategy, but safety car came at the perfect time, and we all just went well, really.
Was there any major concern for you when that second safety car came out at the end of the race? Were you worried about some of the other runners maybe getting an opportunity to do something about your track position, or were you pretty confident there to the end?
I was quite confident with it because it meant that there'd be no DRS to the end of the race, and I had enough battery to just deploy it all down the straights, keep a gap to the guy behind, and then just secure the win.
Yeah, it was a very good battle there to the end. Of course, battery, very, very crucial when there's no DRS at your disposal. To just touch on, the experience through this race, I mentioned it with Dark. A lot of yellow flags through this one. What was the strategy coming into this race? Was there an expectancy for safety car? Were you just looking to do your best strategy on the tires? What was the thoughts coming into this race, and did you expect to find yourself with a win?
From the track nature, obviously, I expected quite a few yellows and safety cars. I expected a few more safety cars and maybe different strategies, but I was just trying to keep the car on the road and not ride too much on the curbs and get the best result we could. And I didn't expect the win. I was looking for a top 5, but it came, and that's some good points for the team.
Great points for the team now, especially heading into another circuit, Russia. Of course, round 3 coming ahead. How is the team looking for round 3?
Well, I think we're all excited for it, looking forward to practicing, getting the times in, and hopefully it'll be another good race.
Well, it definitely was a good race for you today, Carbon. Bido, do you have any questions or anything to ask Carbon?
I really don't have anything to ask, but it was a very, really good race. Of course, a little bit lucky there with the safety car, but of course you have to be there. You have to be there avoiding all the issues, and of course the performance was, of course, on top today for Tier 3, and I hope he has a very good race as well in Russia. So congratulations, Carbon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carbon. Any messages for the viewers before we head off?
No, just thank you for watching and keep it up.
Well, thanks, Carbon, and good luck next week. Alrighty, that is going to wrap up the interviews for this evening's Tier 3 action. And that was Carbon that we last heard from, our race winner. And of course, Tier 3 next week, we have Russia on the menu, and the Sochi Autodrome can present many challenges. Safety cars are also somewhat possible there. Maybe just as we've seen this week with the Netherlands. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and find out. Now, With that said, that is going to be it for Mr. Alex Bitto and I this evening. However, later in about 4.5 hours' time, there will be another race here around the Netherlands, and that will be the America's Tier 1 division. And man, oh man, am I looking forward to that one. And I'll be joined by Mr. Seb in the commentary, and he'll be taking part in that from the good old land down under Australia. But, of course, before we sign out, Alex, any messages to the viewers to wrap things up before we head on with our fancy new outro and a raid for the F1 2021 community?
Of course, I'll be sure to be there for the next race, not only Tier 3, but today's race. And of course, well, thanks to everyone for helping us to grow together. So, Tier 3 never disappoints. See ya.
Take care, everyone, and have a great, great night.